Tonight, I want to talk about how you can get out of debt. And I want to talk about bankruptcy. I want to talk about debt consolidation and debt settlement and what those things are, because there are lots of misconceptions on those. Filing bankruptcy does not fix your credit. It keeps you from getting sued. See, when you file bankruptcy, it gets all beat up, and then we want to clean it up. So you still got to fix it afterwards. So when you file bankruptcy, there's really two types of bankruptcies for consumers. There's Chapter 7 and Chapter 13. A Chapter 7 bankruptcy is a complete wipeout of all your debt. Your house, your cars, your credit cards, your collections, your judgments, your tax liens, all of it. It will wipe out all of your debt except student loans and criminal loans. So if you got a DUI, hurt somebody, or you got a DUI and you have a fine to the state, it doesn't wipe out criminal. It will take care of taxes, but not student loans. And that's how we fix a student loan problem. So file 7, Chapter 7 is a complete wipeout. You can file Chapter 7 every 8 years. Completely wipes out your debt. There's no limit to how much you can file on. I've done it now twice. So I did Chapter 7, they wiped out all the debt. What's a Chapter 13? It's when you pay back your debt. So you go in, they say, okay, well, you make X amount of dollars. Here's how much your debt is. We're going to wipe out half of your debt, and then you pay back the rest of your debt over the next 3 to 5 years. That's a Chapter 13. You can file a Chapter 13 as many times as you want. So that's the 7. Chapter 7 wipes it out. File it once every 8 years. Chapter 13, you can file as many times as you want, and you have to pay the debt back based on what the trustee, which is an appointee, it's not a judge. They can be a judge, but they don't have to be a judge. So that's how bankruptcies work. The second type of debt, getting rid of your debt, would be debt consolidation. Let's say you owe Bank of America, American Express, Discover, any other bank. You can go to another bank and do debt consolidation. And they'll say, okay, you owe 10 grand here, 10 grand there, 10 grand there. They take the 10,000 on all 3 credit cards. They put it in one loan of 30,000. That bank pays off the other credit cards, and then you pay one payment to that bank. That's debt consolidation. Now this is crazy now, there are credit card companies that own nonprofits they'll refer you to the nonprofit, and then the nonprofit says, okay, we're going to take all this debt, put it in one payment, and you make one payment to us, and then we'll pay the credit card companies. Well, that nonprofit is controlled by the credit card companies. Now you might ask, like, why would a credit card company start a debt consolidation nonprofit to save me, the consumer, from filing bankruptcy? Well, because if you file bankruptcy, if it's a Chapter 7, the bank gets nothing. If you file a Chapter 13, it's up to the judge how much the bank gets. But if you call the credit card company and they refer you to their debt consolidation company, they get a larger portion of it because they own that nonprofit or they run that nonprofit. So that's how debt consolidation generally works. Then we have debt settlement. And you might have heard the commercials for it. If you have $10,000 or more of debt, please give us a call and we'll wipe out your debt for pennies on the dollar. Here's how these companies work. You call them up, and let's say you owe $10,000 to American Express. They're going to say, stop making payments. You stop making payments, and instead you pay the debt settlement company. They put it over here in a fund, separate account. So instead of paying $500 a month to American Express, you pay $500 to the debt settlement company. $500 goes in a separate account. They then pull $300 out a month for management fees. So you put $500 in, they pulled $300 out. You have $200 remaining. After years of doing this, you'll have a little bit of money in there. And once you get sued from American Express, this debt settlement company reaches out and settles it for approximately 70% of what you owe, 50 to 70%. So not only do the debt settlement company take 60% of what you paid them in management fees, you then have to pay back the credit card company 50 to 70%. So when it's all said and done, you're paying like 90% on the debt, and your credit is ruined. And on top of that, you have to pay income tax on that savings. It's not a good deal. Rarely a good deal. Most of the time, you're going to pay about 70 to 90% of the original balance and pay taxes on it and probably get sued and screwed up your credit for 7 years. So that is how most debt consolidation, bankruptcies, and debt settlement companies work. You either file bankruptcy, you consolidate before you're behind on your payments, or you let it all go to collections, hopefully don't get sued, and then pray and beg them not to sue you, garnish you, and levy you.